It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.
And a very warm welcome to Road to World Cup 26. It's getting nearer and nearer every week. Feels like, we said this last week, but it still feels like, it's in the news now all the time. It just feels like it's getting closer and closer and closer. People are talking about it more and more. And you are in exactly the right place, because Road to World Cup 26 remains the only regular podcast about the World Cup. We are well into our, it's about 39th, 40th episode by now. My name's Nick Britton. I'm your host, and I'm joined, as always, by the man who knows more about football than anybody else on the entire planet, even if that's only in his head. Mr. Ken Davis. Hello, Mr. Ken Davis. How are we?
I'm very well, actually, and you're right about that. Can't move for World Cup news. Not all good, by the way, but we're going to come to that. But yeah, as we approach 2026, it's gonna start to get very real. And in a way, starting when we did, which seems like a decade ago, it puts us in quite a nice position. We've got a load of content out there, but also we've got exactly the right number of episodes to do to cover everyone and all the news that's happening, just to finish perfectly choreographed just as the World Cup starts. So yeah, very excited about it all, and can't wait for 2026 and all the new episodes we've got to come, which are going to change slightly, aren't they? Which is going to be interesting as we go into the new year.
We are. Now, if you're a regular listener, you will know that we generally concentrate on a qualified team per episode, and we have a little deep dive into that team, and we have a look at some of the key players. So really just to prepare you, our dear listeners and viewers, to prepare you for the World Cup, and they say, yeah, I'm looking for this. You know what? There's some teams now I don't really know. You can dip into any episode of this podcast over the last 7 months or so that we've been doing it, or more than that now, 10 months, I think. And you'll probably find one of those teams, and you can have a quick listen, and you can impress all your mates, because you'll become an instant expert, which is
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde, exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, I would listen to Cape Verde now, go and listen to that episode, then on all over the Christmas period. I was going to say I work on Monday, but everybody's pretty much broken up by now. All over the Christmas period, all these Christmas parties you're attending, as soon as the subject of football comes up, talk about it, go, oh yeah, you know what? I know all about Cape Verde and the chances of the World Cup next year, and everybody will love you. You'll be the life and soul.
Listen, won't they?
Yeah,
and you can say, do you think Cape Verde will continue with the 4-2-3-1 formation? Or do you think against the tougher teams we might revert back to the 4-3-3? And people will say, this bloke's a genius.
What a way to clear
Women will fall on them, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You
or men, or anybody.
Cape Verde's formation. Yes, I am, actually. I know he played fullback in the last game. Honestly, the world's your oyster.
And there's only one way you're going to know that, people, and that's listening to Road to World Cup 26.
Public service, really, isn't it? When you think about it that way. We're like the fifth emergency service.
I think it's quite a grand claim, that.
Yeah.
But in terms of World Cup, we are. Well, hey, listen, in terms of the World Cup next year, we are the emergency service. We're the number one emergency service. We are the only podcast doing it. Right. Now, funny enough, today is a bit of a repeat of about 3 or 4 weeks ago, because regular listeners, and very warm welcome to you, and indeed welcome to you if you're listening to the first time. You won't know this if you're listening to this for the first time, but about 4 weeks ago we recorded Croatia, and we were just, although we weren't to know it at the time, entering a period of huge technical instability on our recording platforms. Now, it's nothing to do with us, and to be fair, it wasn't really much to do with Zencastr either, which we were recording on. There was lots of sort of outages and technical issues going way above that affected all sorts of businesses around the world. You would have probably heard about the Cloudflare outage and stuff like that. It affected banks, it affected this, that, and the other. But we had sort of 2 or 3 weeks, well, a couple of weeks really, where it was all problematic. And we recorded Croatia and it sounded great and this, that, and the other. And then we published it, as we normally do. And there was this horrendous echo on everything that I was saying. Now, I know what I'm saying is very, very interesting, but you don't really want to hear it twice every time it comes out.
It resonates around the world, Nick.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's like the voice of God, really. You know
so
what I mean?
that was just the sound of it bouncing off the Grand Canyon, Ayers Rock, and all of that. Yeah,
yeah, I think so.
If I'd
But
known that, I would have kept it in.
we've technically adjusted that now, so you actually just sound like a human.
Sad times, but it meant that we've ditched the episode. I've taken it offline. Apologies for that. If you tried to listen to it, you probably lasted about 10 seconds and thought, what on earth's going on? So we're going to do Croatia.
Longer than they normally last, Nick, to be honest. I've seen the analytic.
And we're going to do Croatia today and have a look at their key players and what they're doing and this, that, and the other. We've got Kenny's quiz, obviously, everybody's favourite time of the week. That is. Yeah. Do join in with Kenny's quiz. He's pretty rubbish at it. But I'm setting him a challenge today. Setting him a bit of a challenge. We're going to come to that a bit later on because we're repeating the podcast from a month ago. So Kenny's quiz questions are going to be the same. The question is, can he remember?
No.
He will.
I couldn't hear you. It was just this massive echoey, boomy voice thing.
It'll all come. You must get 3 out of 3. It'll all come back.
The good news now, though, Nick, is because I'm actually going to be able to post-produce this in a slightly different way. I can change the answers. So I put the right answers in and you mark it wrong and everyone will be like, what's that Nick Britton guy all about? You keep saying it's wrong when it's clearly right.
And that, my friends, that, my friends, is a very interesting insight into Ken's psychology. In other words, he'll do anything. He'll cheat. He'll cheat his way to any victory. We all know. Right, let's start with a bit of World Cup news. As we always do, the row over ticket prices is rumbling on. So last week we discussed at length what was pretty much a universal backlash right across the world at the ticketing prices that FIFA had announced, which meant that, take England, for example. If you wanted to go to all of England's games, with flight and travel and tickets this and other, you're looking at 35 grand was a kind of figure that was knocking around, which is just absolutely outrageous because flights have gone through the roof, as you'd expect. Hotels have gone through the roof, as you would expect. America's not a cheap place to go to at the best of times. And the ticket prices were very, very, very heavily criticised. Now, this week, FIFA kind of tried to placate the whole row and dampen it all down by offering a small number of $60 tickets. So that's $60, £45. What's that, about €52, something like that. For all of the 104 games at next year's competition, by way of saying, look, actually, we are really nice and we are looking after the fans. We don't yet know who's going to get access to those, or indeed how many per nation. It can't be that many. Can't get that many. The £45 ticket, the $60 ticket falls into the lowest price category, so you'll probably be in a car park. And they make up around 10% of the allocation for each football association that's taking part. So England and Scotland, you're looking at around 400 tickets, I think, for that £45. Look, it's better than nothing, and it's decent. But Ken, is this just FIFA paying lip service to supporters and trying to run away from this horrendous controversy they themselves have caused?
Yeah, I think it is. You're right. It's a gesture. It feels like a gesture. You've been in PR as long as I've known you. I'm not a PR person, but every time a company does this in a reactive way rather than a proactive way, then you always feel justified in thinking that the original decision was a mistake. And they recognise it, and then they do something to try and alleviate that situation. If they'd announced this the day before they'd announced the other ticket prices, it would have the choreography of it would have been so much better. And one can't help but feel, therefore, that they've seen the reaction to what was a pretty disastrous announcement about ticket prices, had some kind of late night meeting somewhere in Switzerland to say how the hell do we try and mitigate this in some way, and some bright spark said, I know, why don't we do some, oh yeah, we'll do that, Franz, and that's what happened. So it doesn't, I don't think it's I don't think it changes the optics in the sense of it was a PR disaster. I think the world is rightly shocked and disappointed about the ticket pricing scenario for very loyal fans. It does help, but still leaves a bit of a bitter taste in everybody's mouth, I think, in the way this has been handled. So, yeah, okay, you get a brownie point for actually doing something about it, but actually you're just playing on the extremities of this, on the margins of this. The fundamental issue is still a major problem, and I just hope it'll be a one-off, and that's the way the Americans do things. When we have the next World Cup, it will be, and which I suspect it will be, it'll be a completely different scenario, back to much more closer to what we've been used to. By the way,
I think that makes sense. The Football Supporters Federation, or no, Football Supporters Association, here in the UK said it was a hollow gesture. The Football Supporters Europe said that whilst it welcomed FIFA's seeming recognition of the damage done, the revisions do not go far enough to reconcile. So it's not really pulled the wool over anybody's eyes, that one. In the same kind of week of FIFA...
Just to finish a bit on that, Nick, and of course, just to make pain slightly worse for English fans, the pound will have fallen against the dollar because our interest rates fell the other day, and they're going to fall again over here. So the exchange rate between the pound and dollar is likely to go against us in the lead up. So I would say, by the way, no, this is not financial advice. If you are going to go, I'd probably get your tickets booked pretty soon, because I think it's not going to get any better.
In the same week, interesting, and I don't know whether this is something to do with it, whether this is kind of a continued PR smokescreen exercise, but FIFA also announced this week that there's going to be a 50% increase in the prize money for participating teams at the World Cup in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. 544.8 million pounds, which is $727 million, has been agreed. Of that, the World Cup winners get $50 million, runners up $33 million, and those who fail to progress beyond the group stage, so right at the other end of the competition, will still get $9 million. So, which is still not bad, is it? For like teams like Haiti, teams like
that's the good
Cape Verde, teams that we don't really expect to do anything in the World Cup. Well, it's worth going. $9 million.
100%, and I'm pleased about that. I don't think, in a way, and am I a communist for saying this? I prefer all the teams get the same amount, because you know what, Argentina, us, France, $15 million, neither here nor there. It's not going to make any difference. It would be nice if all the teams who qualified actually got an equal slice of the pie, because they've all got themselves.
Well, everybody's qualified,
understand it, but it's and it's good. It's good for Cape Verde. It's good for Iran. It's good for those kind of teams. Any financial input that goes into their footballing organisations is very welcome.
Each qualified team anyway gets $1.5 million. So the minimum you're going to get, even if you go out group stage, is $10.5 million or $7.8 million.
We should try and qualify next time.
Well, I think we'll give Cape Verde a game, you and me.
Sure about that, mate? Not anymore. I mean,
well, I can. I play football.
You might. Yeah, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. I think the manager.
It's me then. Thanks. And then the last bit of World Cup news before we move on. 2 more countries this week. It's a continuing saga of who's allowed to go to America and who isn't. 2 more countries have been put on the travel ban list for America. So supporters of Senegal and supporters of Ivory Coast may well not be allowed into the US to watch the World Cup next year. This week, another executive order passed by Donald Trump, the US president, banning entry into the US for Senegal and Ivory Coast, short-term visits for purposes of work or tourism. Now, how short-term is short-term? Will this be lifted ahead of the World Cup next year? We don't know, but at the moment, it means that although obviously the players and the whole kind of entourage of the football are allowed to go, general people, i.e. supporters, aren't. And there are already 2 other countries on this list. They are Iran and Haiti. So not great, is it? I mean,
Horrible.
it's not great. It's not a good look for a tournament that's all about inclusivity and being together and all this stuff that FIFA keeps coming out with that nobody takes seriously at all because of things like this.
Yeah, and Peace Prize winner Trump does it again, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah, I know. This is it. He was awarded that ridiculous Peace Prize, wasn't he, at the World Cup draw the other day?
Yeah, I don't. It's quite interesting. It's dreadful, by the way, because Senegal now be coasted. I mean, it doesn't matter how good the teams are, really, but yeah, they're going to make a contribution, a very significant contribution to the World Cup. The interesting thing is, of course, like you're not allowed now if you're from the Senegal or Ivory Coast to come in if your purpose of your visit is work or tourism. So obviously, if you go there and say, what's your purpose of your visit? Terrorism. Oh, walk this way.
I'm not sure it works.
Great, great. No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. What are you here to go? I'm here to see the World Cup. Sorry, mate. You're going to have to turn around. I think that's what I'd advise people to say then.
No, please don't advise that. Just a legal note: we are not advising that you turn up in the borders of the United States of America. And when they ask you what's the purpose of your visit, you go terrorism. We are not advising that. It's Ken's warped sense of humour.
I'm just going through what's there on the piece of paper. You can't go for purposes of work or purposes of tourism. What's left? I don't know.
Don't just stop, right? Just stop.
So anyway, but it's a sad thing. I was trying to think, by the way, on this. Have there been other occasions in the World Cup when fans have been denied access?
Yeah, there will have been. There would
have been things, I suppose, but this just seems not to this extent. So yeah, and the problem is the list is getting longer. It's not getting shorter. So it's a problem. It's a problem for FIFA. It's a problem for the World Cup. It's a sad day for the World Cup, actually, when these things happen. So hopefully, again, like we talked about ticket prices, this is very much a one-off thing. And when we get back to reality, it's the price you pay, I suppose, for having the World Cup in America. There's some big wins from that, but there's some big losses. And one of the big losses is this kind of political involvement.
Yeah. I remember not that long ago, England fans were banned from mainland Italy, weren't they? In Italia 90.
Yeah, but we deserve that.
Oh yeah, totally. No, I'm not saying we deserve it. I'm just saying we're talking about.
Yeah, to be honest, have the Senegal fans deserved any of this?
No, of course not. And I mean, what if they've already bought stuff? What if they've already bought flights or bought tickets or entered the ballot and all this kind of stuff? And also, is this going to be the start of more countries? Are more countries going to get on the banned list?
It's a very slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope.
You can choose.
Yeah, it feels a real mess, and I feel for those countries involved. Not for whatever political reasons. That's fine. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is ordinary football supporters who are being penalised by this. It feels harsh.
Things like Haiti. I mean, when has anyone from Haiti caused a major, security issue? I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, Haiti have got nothing. There's nothing in Haiti. It's a very, very, very poor country. Anyway,
yeah. But
we get our soapboxes. This has become a political.
I know. Let's just get on to the football, please.
Let's get on to the football.
I'm not. You are. You're getting.
Sorry, he's got me goat on that one.
Right, Red Ken. Tell us about the. Let's talk about Croatia. Come on, we're here to talk about Croatia. Tell us about Croatia in the World Cup.
Yeah, seems like they've been around ages, doesn't it? Really, but actually, and the reason for that is that they're always there or thereabouts, which we'll come to. But actually, they're only admitted to FIFA in 1994, which is 30 years ago. And they've qualified for every World Cup they were eligible for, except 2010, which they didn't. But just quickly running through their performance. Runners-up in 2018. Third place in 1998 in France, and last time in Qatar. 2002 group stage, 2006 group stage, 2010 which said didn't qualify, and 2014 group stage. So what's happened clearly since 2018 really is they've really become a very major force. Now they've been helped, I think, because they've got some exceptional players, and it's been a golden generation really of Croatian football, which we'll come to. But this is a team which has got as good a pedigree in the course of the last few World Cups as anyone. Better than England, better than France, outstanding. And their form has been excellent. Last 10 games, they've won 8 of those. They've drawn 1, they've lost 1. That included 2-0 victory over France, 5-1 victory over Czechia. The only defeat really in that 10-game stretch was a 2-0 loss in the return leg in the UEFA Nations quarter-final. And in fact, because they won 2-0, went to penalties, they lost 5-4 on penalties, could easily have beaten France. The qualification in the UEFA group was absolutely dominant. Played 8, won 7, drawn 1, lost none, scoring 26, conceding 4. So they're an absolutely outstanding team. And we'll come to we've got a vested interest in this because, of course, they're in our group, England's group. But their ranking is 10th. They are a very, very strong team. Their lowest rank, just to put this in some context, was back in 1994 when they became eligible, when they were admitted to FIFA, 125th in 1994. By 1998, actually everyone can do the maths, 4 years later, they've gone from 125th to 4th. I mean, astonishing. No one's ever done that before. And they've been consistently top 12 really since 1998, ever since. So fantastic team, new to FIFA really, 30 years, but fantastic pedigree, particularly recently, great form, well managed, fantastic players, and England better be very, very careful about Croatia in their group. So great team.
Very good, yeah. No, absolutely. I picked out, just to finish that off, really picked out 3 players who I think will make a big impact at the World Cup next year. 3 names, very well-known names, and players that we will look to shine upon the world stage, despite one of them being 40 years old. And that is, of course, Luka Modric, who is the star, Croatia's greatest ever player by some distance. He is the absolute star of the team.
He's not human, though, is he?
No, he's brilliant. He's
not a human. He's from a different planet, Modric.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Have you seen how ripped he is?
Yeah, I'm sure you look like that when you were 40, mate.
I look like that now, actually.
Right.
Yeah, I'm Luka Modric's dad. I actually could be Luka Modric's dad, couldn't I? Apart from we don't share any genetic kind of information or whatever.
Yeah, and you've never been to Croatia. And you don't look anything like him.
I don't look anything like him.
And you can't play football.
I can't play football, and our DNA is completely different.
Could have put that in breaking news, but I don't know why you waited halfway through the podcast to tell us that you are, to reveal that news, Ken, that you are in fact Luka Modric's father. He is Croatia's most capped player of all time. Obviously, he's the captain. He's one of the best footballers I've ever seen. I've got to say, I've ever seen play the game. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He came to prominence with English fans. Obviously, he had a very good spell at Tottenham, 127 games there. Since then, he went to Real Madrid, won everything in playing nearly 400 games for Real, and now plays still at the highest level in Italy, playing for AC Milan. So he's still doing it. He's absolutely brilliant. He's 5th in the most capped players of all time. Who's the most capped international footballer of all time?
Oh, this is this Iranian bloke, that no one's ever heard of, called, I don't know, Al-Modric. Al-Modric.
Right, yeah. It is indeed the Iranian bloke that nobody's ever heard of, called Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, right.
He has 226
maybe look foolish. in front of the world.
So Ronaldo's got 226 caps. Badr Al Mutawa, who QH
That's the bloke.
202. Messi's got 196, and then the Malaysian player Sochin An has got 195. So Modric will. I'm just trying to think. If Croatia get group stages, he will go into third place if he plays in all 3 games. Then, and then he will. Oh, mind you, so will Messi. So he won't go over Messi. He'll probably end up the World Cup in third spot, I'd imagine. Behind me, it'll be Ronaldo. It'll be Ronaldo, Messi, and Modric.
Do you think he'll retire at the end of the season?
Yeah.
The weird thing about
I think what we're looking at is a real at the World Cup next summer. We're looking at a massive changing of the guard because we're going to see Modric, Ronaldo, Messi, all these amazing players that you and I have kind of watched over the last 20, 30 years finish football.
I think you're right. The interesting thing about Modric and Messi, to be honest, and Ronaldo, is that the reason people used to get millions of caps for Iran and whatever was literally because only 14 people played in the whole, country. I mean, okay, I'm probably doing it a bit of a disservice, but these guys are such athletes. They look after themselves in such a way, and they're so professional about their attitude to fitness and to health and to their dietary regime. They they're just not aging like people used to. I think because Modric's game hasn't really fallen away. I mean, if he wanted to play for another 2 years, he could at a very high level, couldn't he?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. He became, in April this year, by the way, he became part owner of a championship team in Wales. And for once, it wasn't your rabble, because of course they've got more money than every club on the entire world, as we keep hearing. But no, he became part owner of where, Ken?
Oh, don't say Swansea, because they beat us last night.
Swansea City. Was he playing? He might have been playing for him last night.
No, he wasn't, and they still beat us last night, and we were 1-0.
Did you lose to Swansea? So that means you've lost to Cardiff and Swansea this season already. Cardiff, who are League One, and you lost them in a cup, and Swansea, who are way below you in the Championship. So you can't beat any other team in Wales, and yet you claim, this is Wrexham, by the way, who can sports, you claim you're the best team in the world, but you're not actually you're the third best team out of 3 in Wales, mate.
I know, and I just don't want to play any more Welsh teams, to be honest, because clearly we're bottom of that list, aren't we?
That little mini league. Terrible. Won the Champions League 6 times. He's won the Club World Cup 5. He's won it all, Modric. He's won it all. What a player. Second player is Josko Gvardiol, who's had 46 caps for Croatia. He's a regular at Manchester City. So people will know who he is. Rock solid defender. Chips in with some goals. So he's only 23 years old. There's loads to come from him. He's a very, very good defender. We like him.
Fantastic player. Fantastic player. He's been brilliant for Man City. He's an outstanding defender. I would say one of the greatest defenders in the world, to be honest.
Would you?
I would. Never seen him put a foot wrong, really.
A bold claim, my friend. A bold claim. And my third out of 3 is Ivan Perisic, who is widely considered to be one of Croatia's greatest ever wingers. He's got 150 caps for his country. He's been a mainstay in the team for well over 10 years. He's 36 now. He's 36. He's still playing at high level. He's tearing it up for PSV. And he can still do it. And I saw him. I watched him recently, actually, when PSV played Liverpool in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And he tore Liverpool apart.
He did. Well, that's not hard, though, is it? At that moment in Liverpool's history, it was like tearing apart an old newspaper.
Maybe so, but he still did it. He scored the first goal. 4-1 that game finished, by the way. Whew, dearie me. I remember him, speaking of ripping apart, I remember him ripping England apart in the World Cup semi-final in 2018. And he's another one who played for Tottenham, by the way. He was at Tottenham 2022 to 24. Didn't see the best of him because he did his ACL halfway through that. He did his ACL. So, but he's a very, 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 very good player. Now, a little quiz question. A little quiz question for you, Ken.
I'll get your pipe out.
Yeah, get your pipe out. This is not part of Kenny's quiz. That's coming up in just a moment. Here's a random little one. Perisic took part in in what professional sports competition in 2017? He took part in what professional sports competition, a global sports competition, in 2017? And it wasn't football.
I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling I might have a clue on this.
Well, you should do, because we asked you this 4 weeks ago.
I know, and that's what. And I was trying to think, why was someone talked about this to me the other day? Of course, it was you. Was it beach volleyball?
It was beach volleyball. Yeah. Now, you didn't. It's worth saying to our dear audience that Ken's not particularly clever. I don't think that's an amazing find, because he didn't get this right the first time. He didn't have a clue. So well remembered from our last podcast that we did on Croatia.
Yeah, well, it does mean that I do listen and learn, don't I?
It's true. You're like a sponge, mate. Yeah, Perisic took part. Well, at least your head was
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, yeah. SpongeBob Ken Pants. Perisic took part in the 2017 FIVB Beach Volleyball World Tour in the Porec Major tournament. And he partnered Nixar Del Orco, and they lost in their first match, sadly. So his beach volleyball career, beach volleyball career didn't last very long. But good to do. Good to do. Right, Ken, how about a word from our sponsor?
Exactly. Well, as we know in football, as Latvo Dalic knows, it pays to get team selection right. Because here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery partner, and we chose Zencastr, because Zencastr makes it easy to bring your vision to life, share it with the audience, wherever they may be. It's got 4K video recording, it's got really easy AI editing tools, and top-tier distribution tools, and they're all in one place, which makes life very simple. So if you've got a story to tell it with Zencastr. Check the show notes for more details.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed. Right. Shall we do and play Kenny's quiz?
Yeah, let's do that.
Which is everybody's favourite time of the week. Everybody listens in. Do join us for this. So we're going to ask Ken 3 questions, all of which we've asked him 4 weeks ago. So I'm just going to see whether or not you can remember any.
If I don't get 3 out of 3 this time,
mate,
I must give up, haven't I?
Well, I think you might as well give up anyway. But yeah, you're right. Do shout out the answer at home. If you did manage to get through this all the way through to this part of the podcast with all the echoes that were on a few weeks ago, then congratulations. You should get 3 out of 3 as well. If you haven't played this before, shout out the answers. See if you can beat Ken. 3 questions on Croatia. Question number 1 is this. What is the national animal of Croatia?
Oh, my God. I have no idea.
Oh, no.
I know it's one. These national animals kill me every week, because they're always the flipping, I don't know, the striped Zagreb chipmunk or something like that. They're always really stupid, random, stupid animals, like the shrew or the worm or the earwig. It's ridiculous. The national animal of Croatia.
Come on, mate. We had all this.
I know. And that's the kind of knowledge that I just don't need. So I just don't allow access to one of my brain cells. No one else in my life is going to say, Ken, before we close this massive, great contract, just the final question I need an answer to is, what's the national animal of Croatia? No one's ever going to say that.
But if they do, just think, mate, you're going to be round my house with a bottle of champagne. Because you're going to go, I've got this massive contract.
I don't know.
All down to you.
I can't even think of an animal that is kind of, because a national animals are kind of, that's the only kind of place you find a lot of them. Croatia, I'm going to say it's not going to be a sea animal. It's going to be a land animal. There are no monkeys in Croatia. It's often monkeys. It's not a monkey. It's going to be a 4-legged.
Ladies and gentlemen, by all means, go and disappear and make a cup of tea whilst we listen to the absolute stream of consciousness, this verbal diarrhea that Ken will give us an answer in about 25 minutes. I think when he stops for breath. So by all means, just chill out for a bit.
It's the goat.
The goat.
Yeah, a goat. A goat of some quality, some type. No, don't tell me. It's the Dubrovnik striped goat.
Luca Modric is the goat when it comes to Croatia.
It isn't
the goat, mate. Yeah. It isn't the goat. And when you're at all these Christmas parties that you keep going to all the time and mixing with celebrities and all this kind of stuff, And indeed, I want you to work this into your next amateur dramatic murder mystery.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that the national animal of Croatia is the European pine marten. And I don't know.
I'm actually writing it down, which is really more stupid.
To be honest,
am
I was
writing down
disappointed.
the
I was
European
disappointed you
pine
didn't get it
marten.
the first time.
Oh, what a fool I feel of not
You think-
knowing that it was the European pine marten. Everybody around the world is going to be saying, "Oh, Ken, we knew that. How come you didn't know that?" People in Croatia don't even know that. If I was to ring up the president of Croatia and say, "Just remind me, what's your national animal?" They'd say, "I don't know, Dubrovnik striped goat." No, European pine marten.
I could forgive you. I could forgive you for this, other than the fact that 3 weeks ago I asked you, what's Croatia's national
I
animal?
know.
And you had a
I know.
similar utter meltdown, and you didn't know it then, but I told you what the answer was.
This doesn't all go well for questions 2 or 3, which I accept. I better answer straight away. So.
Okay, yes, please, yeah. What Croatian former tennis player won Wimbledon in 2001? Can't believe it.
No. Goran Ivanisevic.
Goran Ivanisevic is the right question. I'm glad you got that right, because otherwise question 3 would have been, what is your name?
Right, got that one. Anyway.
Well done. Question 3 then for a full house or
Didn't get
3.
it straight away, by the way. Had to retrieve that from the memory
Well,
bank.
you'll get this one. You got this one right the first time round, so
well.
there's no excuse for getting it right. Croatia's coast lies entirely on what sea?
The Adriatic.
The Adriatic Sea is the right answer. Yeah, you knew that one last time.
I knew
so
that
2
one.
out of 3, mate, which still isn't great on the basis that you had all these questions and answers.
Never, ever ask me the national animal of a country.
Well,
what's the chances of knowing that? I suppose I could revise, but the point of this is I don't revise.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no point revising, and I don't. But anyway, thanks for that.
You moan when I give you flag questions.
I just moan when I don't know the answer, Nick. It's nothing to do with the question, is it? Let's be honest. It's due to my fallibility.
What's the national animal of England? Because that's where we live.
What's the national animal of England?
Yeah.
I don't know. The cow?
The cow.
I don't know.
Mate, there's 3 of them on our shirt and there's a bloody song about it.
Oh, no. 3 cows on the shirt. The cow? What am I talking about? What am I doing? Oh, Nick, I need a holiday. I've just come back from holiday.
Yeah, you're on holiday for about 3 weeks.
The cow. Oh, sorry about the language. The cow. I actually said the cow.
Yeah, you said. I asked you what the national animal of England was, people, and Ken said the cow.
Oh dear.
Oh well, that'll work as a clip for socials, no doubt.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on. What are we going to do now? Are we going to have a word from our other sponsor here?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Partners over at Bioniq, mate, because I think your body needs a bit of what Bioniq can give you, if I'm brutally honest.
I think it does, because Global Podcast Network, our thing that we own, which Road to World Cup is part of, had partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements, because your body is unique. My brain's flipping unique. Because without knowing what deficiencies you have, taking off-the-shelf supplements mean you're probably not getting enough of the nutrients you need. You're probably getting too many of the ones you don't. So Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels. It's going to optimize your health, and there's no guessing involved. So why don't you click the show notes? You can use the code GSPN 2025. You'll get 40% off your first order.
Very good, mate. Right. Before we finish this podcast with a question on national animals of various countries, let's have a look at the Croatia coach, who is Zlatko Dalic. He's a former professional football player and indeed a manager, obviously. And he's managed the Croatian national team since 2017. His football career came mostly in the Croatian league. He was a defensive midfielder. He's done a great job because he's led them to 2nd and 3rd place finishes at the 2018 and 2022 World Cups, respectively. He qualified for UEFA 2020, the Euros, UEFA European Championships, the Euros 2020 and 2024. Obviously, he's got them into the World Cup 2026. He's regarded as probably the greatest manager in Croatia's history, and I mean, I don't think there's any argument about that. And there's every sense that he can go again next year. We're going to come to predictions in a minute, but he is absolutely. I think. Yeah, we talk about teams, Ken. We talk about teams that are successful, and a lot of the time we just talk about the players, and you're never really sure of the impact of the coach. And I think some coaches impact their teams far more than other coaches. And I think this is a good example of a guy who is absolutely integral to Croatia's chances of success. I think he's a very, very good technician. He's a very good tactician, and he gets the very best out of his players.
Yeah, and he knows them inside out, and he's been there a long time. He's very consistent with his approach. Doesn't get too excited. Doesn't get too down. I think he's definitely their 12th man.
Yeah, no, he's very good, very good. So he's a great guy to have, a great coach to have, and as I say, he'll be important to Croatia's chances of doing anything at the World Cup next year. Which brings us on to the last bit, which is Ken, how do you think Croatia are going to get on next year at the World Cup? Because it's prediction time.
Yeah, it's a difficult prediction in the sense that, look, they're getting through the group stages. The issue is, do they get through the group stages in first place or second place? And slightly contradictory or counterintuitively, I think they'll finish second. I think they're going to face a slightly easier run after that than the teams finishing in first place, i.e. England. So I'm basing this assumption that they finish second in the group. I'm probably only on goal difference. I can see England, Croatia being a draw, by the way. But I think they're going to go further than that. So it's a question really for me. They're not going to win it. I don't think they're going to get to the final. I think this is a competition which certainly South America is going to have a big hand in, and Central America actually. So it's a really question of how far they get. Well, obviously that's the point of a prediction. I'm going to go for quarterfinals. Round of 8 quarterfinals. I think they'll come up against Mexico and just come up a tiny bit short.
Yeah, I've got quarters as well.
Okay, very good.
I've got quarters as well. I think that's a good shout. The group, let's just remind ourselves, their group is England, Croatia, Panama, and Ghana. The winner of that group has got quite a tricky road to win the competition, which I think includes Mexico, Brazil, Argentina. I think if all goes to plan, if everybody wins the games they're expected to win,
and then we play France or someone in the final.
Yeah, it's good. It's a tough one. I mean, I like that because I think if England are going to win the World Cup, it's good to see them doing it, beating the best teams in the world. I think if we think back to, I just referred back to 2018, and I think the same was in 2022. Actually, we got lucky with our kind of round of our groups. We're lucky. We're lucky with our first knockout, and the sense I think amongst English supporters was the first time we come up against anybody good, we lose. And
well, I think that's true.
I've got no issue with that. And if we come up against somebody and lose in the first knockout game, fine. I've got no issue with that. But I think if you're going to win it, you don't. It sounds really. I can't get my head around my own thought process here because actually, it doesn't matter if you win it. You win it. It doesn't matter if you play a load of rubbish teams. I mean, Tottenham in the Premier League won the Europa League last year by just playing a load of rubbish teams, including Manchester United in the final. They got lucky with the draw, but there's something about it. Does it devalue it or does it make it more impressive if you win it by beating the best teams along the route? Or does it just not matter? It doesn't care.
Don't think anyone cares.
Right, I'll shut up in that case because
but what I do think is that you can get lucky against a good team once. You can win on penalties. It's very hard to do that against 3 good teams. So I think it is easier if you have an easier running because you can get lucky against Argentina and win on pens. You ain't going to do that if you're a poor team against 3 teams consecutively. So I think it's a problem for England that they've got this. If they win that group, they've got this really difficult run through.
It is.
Croatia quarterfinals.
Okay, I think we're both agreed on that. Excellent. All right. Well, look, that brings this podcast to a close. Thank you very much indeed for joining us for effort 2 on Croatia.
I was better than the first one, to be honest.
It was better than the first one, yeah. And you did better in the quiz, so that's good.
Yeah.
And where are we going?
Do more twice from now on then, so I get a better quiz result.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. I'll tell you what, why don't I send you the questions and answers before the podcast?
Yeah, I still get 2 out of 3.
I don't even get that. Where are we going next week, mate?
Portugal.
Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to get a mention. No one else probably will get a mention. He'll probably be on the podcast. He'll probably do the podcast for us because he does everything else for Portugal, doesn't he?
Yeah. Okay.
Takes the goal kicks, throw-ins. No one else is allowed to.
Mate, he scores some goals and wins some games.
He certainly does. We're on slightly opposite ends of the spectrum, aren't we?
I'm looking forward to our Ronaldo argument next week. That's going to be good.
We're going to change the format slightly for next time because we're probably going to spend a bit more time looking at the groups and things like that as well.
Yes, indeed. So this is our last podcast before Christmas, by the way, because it's Christmas next week. So let me say this before we close: a very happy Christmas, very happy holidays, very happy festive period wherever you are in the world. We hope you have a lovely time. We hope you get to see friends and family and just relax and have a good time. We'll see you early in the new year.
Yeah.
Or will we squeeze one in between Christmas and New Year? I think we'll squeeze one in.
If you get lucky, you might do.
All right, Ken. Don't lower the tone.
I think we'll. It'll probably be first week of the New Year.
First week of the New Year. So, Ken, I will be seeing you anyway, I'm sure. But have a very happy Christmas.
We're off to the football this afternoon.
Oh, we're off to the football this afternoon. Derby
You're on
versus
opposite side of the
Portsmouth.
stadium, but I'll give you a wave.
Yeah. Home win for the Rams today.
Huh?
Home win for the Rams today.
No, 1-1.
Goodness sake! You always say that. You're the most miserable. I mean, you're not even.
We can't have Derby winning when Wrexham lost yesterday. We can't have Derby pulling away from Wrexham. It won't happen. It'll be a 1-1.
I disagree. I think we'll win. We won 3-0 away at Sheffield Wednesday on Monday night.
Yeah, but me and you would do that.
You keep saying that, mate, and then you decide that you can't do that and just leave me out on the pitch on my own.
Yeah.
You
Wrexham drew 2-2 with them at home. Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
so anyway, yes, I'll see you at the football this afternoon.
Yep.
And have a great time, everybody. And until we meet again, look after yourselves, look after each other. Goodbye.
Bye. Nice to see you.
It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.